there, young whippersnapper. This here's Billybob Burzynski. I'm Mr. B's uncle, and I'm going to take you down here on the farm for this here project in sheets. So the first thing I need to do, you already found this video, and you're probably looking at it right now, but up here at the top, you can hit open, and if you open it, it opens in a new tab, and I can situate my windows. So I'm going to click, drag the tab out. I'm going to line up the right-hand side of my video with the right-hand side of my screen, get it nice and tucked away so I can do my work out here. I'm going to come back over here, hit back, and now I'm going to open up my assignment so I can get some work done. First thing I want to do is check out the examples, see what I'm going to be working on today. So as you see here, I'll have a spreadsheet, and I'll put in some animals that I got here on my farm. And over here, I'll put in how many of each animal I have, and then I'll create a chart, a bar graph, real fancy like. Well, giddy up, buckaroo. Now it's time to add my file to the list. So the first thing I'm going to do is go back to the assignment, and I'm checking it out right here. I'm going to scroll down to where it says add and create, and I'm going to create myself a sheets. Click on Sheets, and right here, the nice folks at Google, they just set up a file automatically for me. I'm using Dada's account. So you have your name right here. You click on it, and it's going to open up in your own special spreadsheet. Now, what you want to do, probably separate this window as well. So I have my spreadsheet all on its own. So I can see this video, do the spreadsheet. I'm going to arrange it so that I can watch this video, do the spreadsheet at the same time. Well, all right, I got my document lined up with the example. I'm looking at the example, and it says in here, cell A1. This is B1, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to write in all the animals that I got on my farm to keep track of them right here with this nice bar graph. So the first thing I'm going to do is type in the word ducks here in A1. If I hit return on the keyboard, it'll take me right down there. I could just put in pigs, and I'm just going to copy what's over here on the example, hitting return and dogs, and you can continue doing this. And then in row B1, I can put in the number of each animal I have. Pause the video now, go ahead and enter in the rest of the information, and then come back to the video, press play. Jeez Louise, you took a long time. You're slower than molasses on a cold February day. Now the first thing we need to do is select all of our cells here to create this chart. So I'm going to click inside of one cell like A1, and I'm going to click down and go across all my cells just like you see here, okay? So it doesn't matter how I do it. I could go left to right, top to bottom. It doesn't matter. Just got to select all my cells so that they are in blue. Then I'm going to slide on up here to the upper right-hand side. Sometimes if my window isn't completely open, you will see that there will be 3 dots right here that say more. And these will be other things. And here's my insert chart button. Now, if I have my window open just a little bit more, all those things just appear. I don't have the 3 buttons. That's okay. I'll just click on insert chart. Now, they made a beautiful chart for me, but this just is not good enough. It's just not going to do. So what I'm going to need to do is change up some colors and stuff. You see my example? It looks beautiful. Now look at this. This is boring and dull. So we're going to have to fix on this. So we're going to go over here and use the chart editor in the right-hand side of my window to make this thing pretty. Here in my chart editor, and if I go all the way down to the bottom, I have a couple checkboxes here that might have something to do with my problem. So if I switch the rows and the columns, boom, I got colors all of a sudden. So now I have it separated, but look here, I only got 4 bars, but I got 5 animals on my farm, so I'm going to have to do a little bit more adjusting. I'll come back over here to my chart editor, go all the way down to the bottom, and this one here says use rows 1 as labels. Well, what if I unselect that? Boom! Now I got 5. That's what I'm talking about. Wait just a doggone minute. There are no animals listed on my legend. I want the names of my ducks and pigs and dogs. I want it on the legend so that I can see what these bars are representing out here. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm still in my data editor, my chart editor on data. I'm going to scroll down here to the bottom, and I'm going to use column A as headers. That means this column right here is going to be the headers, and it's going to use those words as my legend title. So I'm going to go to use column A as headers, and there you see it. Perfect. Chart is looking better, but not quite good enough. So let's go over here to customize. I want to put some titles all over my chart. So I'm going to start off with customize, and I see I see chart style, chart and axis, titles. That's exactly what I'm looking for. And the chart title, I'm going to put a chart title in for old Burzynski's farm. You're going to put in your last name right there. Old, whatever your last name is, put in farm. As you can see, it popped up right over here. Put it in right at the top of my chart. Now the old Burzynski over here looks okay, but I like to change it up, change that font style. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to look down here for a new font. You can choose whatever font you want. Switch it on up. Take a look at the way it looks now. So go ahead and choose a new font for your title of your chart. Now sometimes looking at this chart, I get a little confused and I can't tell. Is this 5 or 4 or 3 or 2? So I could also label, put a number right on the bar so I know exactly where it is over on the side. So I'm going to go straight down my chart. Instead of chart access and titles, which I was formerly in, I'm going to go down to here to series, and I'm going to say data labels. And boom, there you go. It's going to tell me exactly how many animals I have of each category. All right, we're looking good. We're looking good. Let's scroll on down here. Now I can collapse and open up any of my menus by just clicking on that right there. So I'm going to close that up. I'm done with that for now. I'm going to slide on down here to the legend. The legend is this box over here. Tells me what the diagram is showing me. So if I have it on the right position right here, I'm going to try to put it on the bottom. So you see I can adjust all of these areas on my chart like so. So you see it all spread out across the bottom now. Now for all y'all mathematicians out there, you guys know that if you create a bar graph, you're going to want to label your axis. So I know what these numbers mean and I know what these bars mean. So I'm going to scroll back over here to charts and titles. I'm going to open up my charts and titles. And right below it says chart title, which is the overall title. I already got that with your last name, Old Farm. Now I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to do the horizontal. Horizontal is left and right axis. So I'm going to put in the horizontal axis title is going to be animals on my farm. So I'm going to put animals on my farm. Go ahead and type the same thing. Animals on my farm. Right there. And as you see, it automatically enters in underneath my bars. Animals on my farm. I could go right back over and say, instead of the horizontal axis, I want to be the vertical axis. Because I don't have to tell, what do these numbers mean? I'm going to say number of animals. So I'm going to put number of animals. And as you see, there it drops right in. Let's take a look at these colors right here. I reckon I'm not very fond of these colors, so I'm going to try to change up these colors. Let me show you a little shortcut here. All I need to do is double click on my bar graph. I double click right on the bar that says blue, and all of a sudden the series tab opens up and it allows me to select a color. You can select any colors you want. You can make them colors of the rainbow. You could do pastel colors. You could do any which way you'd like. So I'm going to go ahead and change and just double click. It says I'm on the red now because I double click the pigs column, and I'm going to go over here and just select different pastel colors. You could do whatever colors you like best. Go ahead and change that up. Come back to the video. Now I am just about finished here, but like I made these colors pretty, I'm thinking my fonts just aren't very pretty either. I like to change up my fonts all around, change up some colors. So here's where you get to mix it up a little bit. I'm still in my chart editor up here, but I don't need to be. I could just double click right out of there And watch what happens when I double click on my title. I double click on the title and automatically it opens up my chart editor and it says I'm on Old Burzynski's farm right here. It says color text color. I could change up my color right here of the text, and as you see, change up my farm color. So I could pick out maybe the color of my biggest amount of animals. So I'm going to pick out the color of the duck. So I'll go right over there, select, and pick out the same color that I have for my ducks. Okay, so now they match my ducks. And I could do the same thing for all of my axis titles. So I can double click on numbers of animals. I can choose whatever font I want. Go ahead and choose if you like a different font. You could see, you could change that up, and you could even change up the color to be whatever you like. Double click the animal. So I'm just going to go right around the horn here, and I'm going to pick out all sorts of different fonts, styles, colors for my chart. Even down here in my legend, I also have a font style and color that I can choose to make it all nice and pretty. Go ahead, you change them up, make them nice and pretty for yourself. Let's just take a quick inventory, make sure I got all my bits and pieces before I go ahead and turn it in. Now let's look at this. I got a chart title up here at the top. I have a vertical axis title. I got a legend across the bottom. I changed the colors, and I also put the data labels in each of my bars. Okay, so now that I have all them components, I'm almost ready to turn it in. But first, let's change up a number. Let's see what happens if my numbers change. Now, wouldn't you know it, if my dogs, I got a boy and a girl, and wouldn't you know it, if they are procreating, and now I have a whole litter. So now my dogs went from 2 all the way up to 6, a litter of 4. So I hit return here, and wouldn't you know it, my chart now jumped right up. So go ahead and change up your dogs to 6, and you'll see that your chart now has edited itself. Makes it real simple. Woo, doggy, it looks like I am complete, and I need to turn this bad boy in right now. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to close down my window, my tab right here. It says all changes have been saved in the drive, so I can close that down. I'll come back over here to my assignment back in the Google Classroom, and I'm ready to turn it in. So I go right over here to the right-hand side, and I say, go ahead and turn in. It said, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure. And it's turning in right now. Oh, McDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. It says my assignment has been turned in. I'm all set. And that is all for Down on the Farm. Y'all come back now. You hear?